Um, you know, I always knew I was different. I just didn't know what different was. And was I always proud? No, because people figured out I was different, and they thought they knew what it was. And so I was called names in grade school. So it took a long time for me to figure out who I was and to begin to feel good about that.
And did anything help you?
You know, even before I realized I was gay, I was an uncle that I was very close to, who worked in Hollywood and had had a lot of experience with gay culture in California. Just talked to me about a friend of his that, you know, had been gay, and that you know, there was an uncle that I was very close to, and he'd worked in Hollywood for a number of years, and so it was just through his experience in the motion picture industry, he was aware of a lot of gay people. And he just mentioned to me that, you know, if that's who you are, be who you are.
Exactly, and that helped you come out.
It did. I mean, it was years later before I really came to terms with it, but still, I will say, I realized when that was probably when I was 12 or 13, and I had my first gay experience just before I turned 19.
Wow. Okay.
And I thought, oh, this is what different is, and I like it.
That's
Yeah, absolutely. And my husband now and I've been together, it'll be 35 years this year. And shortly after we met, I thought, oh, you know, neither of us had, you know, just come out of the nunnery, so we'd been around, and I thought we should get tested. And it turns out that we were both HIV positive, and that was 33 years ago that we got tested. And as I looked around and saw very close friends and members of the community passing, it was terrifying. And then it's hard to know what to do with that information when you know, when we were diagnosed, nobody lived more than 5 years after getting an HIV diagnosis, much less AIDS.
wow. So it's been really hard.
It was scary as hell.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, yeah. Very first time I ever had a best friend. His name was David Fee. And a few years younger than I, but we just clicked. There was never any kind of relationship between us, but he was a professional ice skater. And when he would be back in town or we'd connect, it was like we had no time apart. It was like, you know, perhaps the brother you hadn't had or best friend. And he was just amazing. He died of AIDS probably 37 years ago. You know, it was so long ago, I think he wouldn't know how to wrap his head around it. It was an entirely different world then. I had a good friend who lived here for about a year and a half, and she passed away. And while I was here, I just got connected with the community. But this friend also was somebody that I had known for over 40 years. And she was there for me when I needed somebody in my younger years. And it's an opportunity to give back to my community. And, you know, we're all going to get older, and most of us are going to need help at some point along the way. And I'm at a point in my life where I've got something to give.
We're all fighting.
You know, first of all, be proud of who you are. And you don't have to make excuses or explanations. You know, everybody has something to offer the community and the world. And but also stand up for the rights of others, not just in the LGBT community, but other groups as a whole.
Perfect. Thank you.